Welcome to Zarpado, the channel where curiosity never sleeps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we're starting. Flamingos spend hours standing on one leg. They alternate naturally and effortlessly. This position not only saves energy, it also gives them stability. They even sleep this way, as if it were the most comfortable thing in the world. And speaking of strange positions, a pink dolphin swims in the Amazon with a flexible neck that twists like a snake. It dodges roots, swims between branches, and changes course with surgical precision. Its color depends on age, stress, or even the water. But if we go even further, literally into space, astronauts eat between tubes and sealed bags. No floating crumbs. The food is heated in special ovens and seasoned with liquids. Even the salt dissolves so it doesn't float like snow. Returning to planet Earth, but beneath it, we discover a disturbing place, the Paris catacombs. More than 6 million skeletons rest in endless passageways, a museum of bones beneath the most romantic city in the world. If we're talking eccentricities, Bill Gates has a periodic table in his house. But not just any, it's an illuminated shelf with real samples. Some elements are missing because they last milliseconds or are dangerous, but the idea is brilliant. Equally unusual is the case of two twins who marry two twins. The couples have children at the same time, and the result is genetically quaternary babies. Not cousins, siblings at the DNA level. And if we're talking oddities, pay attention to two. A Japanese man who spent 13,000 euros on a hyper-realistic border collie costume. He walks, crawls, and behaves like a dog. It's no joke. It's identity taken to the extreme. Something equally chaotic, although less hairy, is the Rosina favela in Brazil. More than 56,000 people in a labyrinth without maps or urban planning. Endless staircases, glued ceilings, and vibrant colors in every corner. But if we're looking for human wonders, we have to travel to India to see the Kailasa temple. Carved from a single rock, without cranes or cement, no one knows how they did it. We can only marvel. And speaking of impressive constructions, before opening a bridge to the public, a load test is performed. Rows of heavy trucks sit on the structure. This ensures it can withstand everything that comes its way. Meanwhile, sailing the seas, the Everest breaks records as the world's largest container ship. It carries 24,000 containers and is almost 1,300 feet long. All this while polluting less than its predecessors. But if you're into XXL animals, meet the Philippine flying fox. It's a bat with wingspans of 5.6 feet. It flies 25 miles per night without a map or GPS. It sounds like Batman, but it's real. And what's also real, and very sad, is the story of Natalia, a chimpanzee who carried her baby's lifeless body for months. The zoo didn't intervene. They let her grieve as she wished. From the emotional, we move on to the biological. A man produces up to 10,000 sperm per second. Now, if we jump back into space, there are astronauts' footprints on the moon that remain intact. No wind or water can erase them. Only micrometeorites could do something in a few million years. And meanwhile down here, the shower becomes a source of creativity. Hot water relaxes, dopamine rises, ideas appear. That's why the brain shines more wet than dry. Creativity also exists in Lego blocks. Artist Nathan Sawaya transforms them into sculptures like a human figure opening its chest as yellow bricks fall. Visual metaphor and catharsis in plastic. Speaking of things that aren't what they seem, the tomato isn't a vegetable, it's a fruit, as are the avocado, the cucumber, and even beans. Fruits disguised in every salad. Curious as the Converse sneakers that change color in the sun, in the shade, they're white. Under UV light, they turn blue, purple, or orange. Solar technology on your feet, but if you prefer nature over fashion, Tolantongo in Mexico will take your breath away. Thermal waterfalls hanging from cliffs, turquoise rivers, steaming caves, and landscapes that look like they're from another planet. And speaking of unique places, in Brazil, there are towns where dying is prohibited due to the lack of cemeteries. In Norway, the cold prevents decomposition. Literally, death is an outlaw. And did you know you can't sneeze with your eyes open? It's a reflex that protects your eyeballs. Some people without that reflex manage to do it, but it's not recommended to try the trick. Much more recommendable is a visit to Sushi Singularity in Tokyo. There, they print personalized 3D sushi based on your DNA. To reserve, you must first submit a biological sample. Science, health, and food all at the same table. And if we continue exploring unusual places, dive under the sea to find Christ of the Abyss, an 8-foot-tall underwater sculpture that prays from the depths for the sailors of the world. But if you want something even more extreme, visit Coober in Australia, an entire underground city to escape the brutal heat. Houses, bars, even churches, all in cool caves. In contrast to the subterranean cold, scorpions can endure heat, cold, and hunger for months. They survive anything, and some live up to 25 years. Tiny tanks of the animal kingdom. Now for mind-blowing art. Eric Franklin crafts neon-lit glass skeletons. Each bone is blown, molded, and assembled by hand. Science and art fused into a single structure. What happens if you wring out a wet rag in zero gravity? Water doesn't fall. It floats and sticks like a living bubble, defying everything we believe about weight. And just as water floats, the Lazarus LM 496 flying motorcycle rises from the ground like a drone. It has Lamborghini wheels and takes off at the touch of a button. We move from flying to jumping, like Ken Storn, a Viking-like Norwegian who throws himself off icy cliffs. He looks like he's straight out of a Nordic video game. And while some descend from the skies, others break height records. Elisane Silva, a 6'9" Brazilian model, triumphs on the runways after overcoming years of ridicule. However, not all records are human. In Louisiana, a 3-foot-long earthworm lives and helps fertilize muddy soils. Incredible and useful. Elsewhere in the world, in China, they moved a 30-ton building with hydraulic jacks. 40 days, pushing inch by inch, without cracks or collapses. From concrete to crystal, rock crystal is not only beautiful, it also stores energy and is highly coveted in jewelry. But even when you're asleep, your brain is still awake. It's busy repairing cells, eliminating toxins, and archiving memories. Silent but vital work. From the mind, we move on to technology. The Apple Vision Pro blends augmented and virtual reality, tracks your gaze, and responds to gestures. And in the real world, if you have debts, you better not get caught with the Barnack on your windshield, a device that immobilizes your car until you pay. In China, soldiers wear tiny needles in the collars of their uniforms to maintain straight posture, a technique as strange as it is effective. Meanwhile, shadow balls float in water reservoirs in California. They help prevent evaporation and stop algae growth. But if roars are your thing, listen to the cassowary. This New Guinea bird looks like a dinosaur and emits sounds so deep they're felt more than heard. In the middle of the Chinese desert, the Desert Star, a star-shaped luxury hotel, stands out. Technology, comfort, and sand everywhere. Josh Digraff, a digital artist, creates animals with petals and leaves. They seem to come from a planet where biology and art are one and the same. Speaking of iconic figures, Jim Caviezel played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ at the age of 33. His initials are JC. He doesn't think it's a coincidence. Video games are also surprising. They improve memory, reflexes, and social skills. Playing isn't just entertainment, it can also be mental training. What does require reflexes is dodging a moose in Alaska. These giants measure 10 feet tall and stroll the streets as if they were locals. For brave palates, Tulum cheese is prepared in Turkey inside goatskin. Strong, spicy, and very traditional. And to join metals without heat, there's friction welding. Pressure, speed, and that's it. But when it comes to natural elegance, the New Caledonian giant gecko takes the cake. Nocturnal, arboreal, and with a hypnotic gaze. In Japan, rain chains turn stormwater into a visual spectacle. Metal chimes guide the water like liquid music. And high in the Chinese mountains, The hanging city of Huangshan seems to float. Temples, walkways, and breathtaking views. In Salem, Massachusetts, the world's largest Ouija board is called the Y-Scylla. It measures over 3,165 square feet and weighs more than 9,000 pounds. Mystery and record. Another record. The belly of a mother of triplets expands so much that it crushes internal organs. The human body is more elastic than we think. In 2019, Japan experienced a violet sky due to Typhoon Hagibis. It wasn't editing, it was physics, humidity, and refraction in action. A phenomenon as beautiful as it is terrifying. In eastern China, the Chinese alligator roars like a lion. Small but powerful, it uses water as an amplifier. A roar you wouldn't expect. And for spinning, nothing beats the human gyroscope. Sitting between metal rings, you spin and spin as if you were in space. Physics applied to fun. Behind the scenes, there's also magic. Many scenes are created with models. Mountains, explosions, entire cities, all in miniature to trick the eye. At Six Flags Mexico, the Sky Screamer launches you into the skies. 223 feet high, spinning chairs, and screams guaranteed. China surprises again with the Sanja Beauty Crown Hotel. 9 tree-shaped towers, more than 6,000 rooms, and nature everywhere. And if you thought removing a tattoo was easy, the laser does it with pulses of light. It takes time, it can hurt, but it works. And when it comes to outdoor art, a floating metal sculpture defying the wind floats in New Zealand. Horizons by artist Neil Dawson. It looks like a giant sheet of paper suspended on a green hill, as if the landscape were breathing art. Underground, the city of Puebla in Mexico hides 16th century tunnels. These passageways connected churches and barracks, serving as secret routes for defense and ceremonies. Today, some can be explored as if entering the past through a hidden door. Speaking of majestic creatures, the greater kudu steals the show on the African savanna. This antelope sports spiraling horns almost 6.5 feet long and white stripes that camouflage it perfectly. It leaps gracefully and disappears into the undergrowth like an elegant ghost. Changing ecosystems, the seabed harbors monsters like the Tasmanian giant crab. It weighs up to 29 pounds, and its claws represent almost half its body. It breaks shells, crushes fish, and moves like an underwater tank. And speaking of extraordinary technology, a giant drone enabled the first parachute jump from the air without an airplane. It was done by Ingus Oudskalns with the Latvian company Aeronis. The result? A futuristic flight that looks like something out of a science fiction movie. But if flying isn't your thing, you could walk on wheels. The Lopafit bicycle combines a treadmill and an electric bike. We walk without pedaling, exercising while we move. It's eco-friendly, strange, and brilliant all at the same time. Changing species, Dolly the sheep was the first mammal cloned from an adult cell. Created in Scotland by the Roslin Institute, her birth marked a turning point in genetic history. Today, her stuffed body continues to inspire in an Edinburgh museum. And when storms threaten, some people rely on safes that fit under their beds. They are storm shelters made of steel, designed to withstand winds and debris, compact, discreet, and life-saving. What looks like a bird soaring through the sky is actually a robot. The bionic Swift from the German company Festo flies with the agility of a real swallow. Lightweight, flexible, with GPS and a futuristic design, it was designed for scientific research. And among the reefs, the blue tang swims gracefully. Better known as Dory, it has vibrant colors and sharp teeth for slicing through algae. Small, fast, and famous, it looks like a living jewel of the Pacific. Continuing with miniature animals, the pudu is the world's smallest deer, barely 12 inches tall with tiny antlers. It lives in South America, is shy, and so adorable it seems like a character in a storybook. And graffiti? It also has its natural enemy, the Tornado ACS machine. It cleans walls with surgical precision without toxic products or damage. An ecological and technological solution that leaves everything looking like new. Olympic diving also hides secrets, facials. During the flight, the divers make intense gestures due to muscular tension. The cameras freeze expressions as comical as they are involuntary. It's art and strength in the air. Fire underwater? It exists. Storm-proof matches stay lit for up to 15 seconds, even when wet. They're essential in survival kits and extreme missions. Small, skilled, and brave. Moving on to body art, vertical dance defies gravity. Dancers suspended from ropes perform choreographies on facades. With lights, projections, and music, it's a modern show that combines dance and climbing. And if you thought hotels couldn't move, let me introduce you to the Truck Surf Hotel, a truck converted into a luxury hotel on wheels. 5 rooms, 2 floors, and 1 destination, following the waves in Portugal and Morocco. Returning to nature, the African aardvark digs 43-foot-long tunnels and hunts ants with a special tongue. Although many confuse it with the anteater, they are not related. He works alone at night and with surgical precision. The Voynich manuscript is covered in indecipherable botanical symbols and drawings, creating an enigma that fascinates linguists and cryptographers alike. And speaking of marine surprises, imagine a tiger shark hunting underwater cameras. It carries them in its mouth, spits them out, and reveals them from within its jaws. In Japan, manhole covers have become urban art, hand-painted decorations depicting flowers, landscapes, and local culture, inspiring visual tourist routes. While ants lift up to 50 times their weight, as if carrying a car on their backs, a biological marvel that demonstrates extreme strength in a tiny body. Thousands of drones form incredible images in the sky, synchronized so precisely that they seem to dance to the rhythm of aerial choreography. There's also a miniature washing machine with an electric motor and a tin drum that washes tiny clothes as if they were miniature life. And for strategists, chess offers more combinations than atoms in the observable universe, proving that a chessboard can contain an infinite cosmos. Following the flavors, the electric salt spoon uses a gentle current to enhance salt and reduce sodium without losing flavor. A healthy surprise for the kitchen. In Hollywood, the voice actors of Mickey and Minnie Mouse found love in real life, confirming that fairy tales can come true. Can you imagine a fine based on your income? In Finland, speeding violations are calculated proportionally so that rich and poor travel with the same punishment. Going back to the origins, the Motorola Dynatac C8000X weighed more than 2.5 pounds and cost more than a car. The first mobile phone of 1983 that changed telecommunications. In Germany, self-sufficient solar capsules for the homeless were born, protecting them from the cold with technology that opens doors upon detection. The robot playing rock, paper, scissors beats you in milliseconds thanks to high-speed cameras, saying winner loses meaning in front of the machine. A black hole the size of a coin would be enough to devour matter and destroy everything in seconds, a microscopic danger with intense gravity. In Dallas, a 30-foot diameter eye challenges surveillance and perception, a monumental sculpture that invites reflection. And in Denmark, a secret repository houses every Lego set launched since 1958, a private museum that preserves history brick by brick. If Google Maps takes you inside the space station, you can explore floating modules and astronaut life without leaving your couch. In Italy, cardboard boats compete to go the furthest without sinking, a creative chaos that rewards design and durability on the water. Under the sea, shrimp fire high-pressure jets of water as a defense, an aquatic sneeze that protects them from threats. In the sky, pilot Jean-Baptiste Chandelier floats so close to the ground that he appears to be surfing air currents, an extreme aerial choreography with a paraglider. Catchpad offers more than 100 sensory exercises for sports and rehabilitation, measuring balance, pressure, and improving coordination. The Gorgon macaria moth feeds on birds' tears without waking them, a natural vampire with hornet-like antennae. In Bulgaria, the kukris dance with masks and bells in winter to scare away spirits and attract good luck, a theatrical and ancient ritual. The nails are aligned before being packaged thanks to magnets, which automatically arrange the metal heads, an invisible but crucial industrial trick. A tick can increase up to 10 times its size after feeding, transforming from a discrete insect into a grotesque ball. The Carapod machine converts moisture from the air into drinking water and coffee, a fascinating technology for desert areas. The tula tree in Oaxaca boasts a trunk more than 130 feet in circumference, a living giant with more than 2,000 years of history. Shrimp keep their hearts in their heads and regenerate limbs, in addition to having compound vision, a biological combination worthy of superheroes. Sea lions play video games with their snouts at scientific stations, a training program to study their behavior and brains. Brisky, Oregon, the smart grill automatically adjusts the temperature and rotates the meat, sending alerts to your phone, a cutting-edge barbecue. The LR Ring Das ring is more than just a piece of jewelry. It translates voices in real time, converts spoken words into text, and allows you to control devices with simple hand gestures. This accessory combines elegance and functionality, representing a breakthrough in the integration of wearable technology. In Vietnam, the police are implementing an advanced traffic coordination system that allows traffic lights to be modified in real time to clear the way for ambulances. This strategy, in addition to being innovative, has proven vital in reducing response times in medical emergencies. The blue tarantula shines with a metallic sheen thanks to a nanocrystal structure in its hairs. This phenomenon does not depend on pigments, but on the way light is dispersed, making this arachnid a true living jewel of nature. In some countries, golden eagles have been trained to intercept unauthorized drones. These majestic birds, with their keen vision and powerful flight, have become allies of modern security, demonstrating how ancestral behavior can adapt to current technology. Sea otters exhibit behaviors that inspire tenderness and intelligence. While sleeping, they hold hands to avoid being separated by the current, and they use stones as tools to open shellfish. This dual trait makes them unique among aquatic mammals. Hummingbirds possess tetrachromatic vision, meaning they can see ultraviolet colors that we cannot perceive. This allows them to detect hidden patterns in flowers, guiding them to nectar with a precision that seems magical from our perspective. Domestic cats cannot taste sweets because they lack the TACNR2 gene, which in other animals activates sugar receptors. This genetic trait explains their tendency toward foods with umami or meaty flavors. Many trained dogs can detect diseases such as cancer or anticipate epileptic seizures even before visible symptoms appear. Their hyper-developed sense of smell makes them true biological sensors and invaluable medical allies. Octopuses have the ability to escape through incredibly small spaces, even the size of a coin due to their lack of a skeleton. This quality, combined with their intelligence, makes them experts at camouflage and evasion. In Japan, an exhibition called The World of Animal Scent allows visitors to smell the scent of different animals' hindquarters. Although it may seem strange, the experience seeks to educate about the olfactory behavior and communication of the animal kingdom. In some Japanese cities, there are services where actors can be hired to portray family members, friends, or couples. This initiative, although unusual, responds to a growing need for companionship and connection in increasingly solitary urban societies. The LiveScribe Smart Pen allows you to digitize what you write on paper in real time thanks to artificial intelligence. Thus, your physical notes are automatically converted into editable digital files, connecting the analog and the modern without losing the natural touch. A mature sunflower can hold between 500 and 2,000 seeds in its center. This makes it not only a showy plant, but also an important food source for birds, humans, and even for large-scale vegetable oil production. Stunt cyclist Dawid Gotzik achieved an impressive feat. He jumped between moving train cars on his BMX bike. This extreme act requires pinpoint precision and absolute mastery of balance under high-risk conditions. The small country of Bhutan replaced the gross domestic product with the Gross National Happiness Index as a measure of development. This indicator prioritizes spiritual harmony, culture, and the environment over traditional economic growth. Iceland is one of the few countries without a standing army. Their police officers even often patrol unarmed during the day, which speaks to a society based on trust, peace, and one of the lowest crime rates in the world. In Morocco, goats have developed an incredible skill. They climb argan trees to feed on their fruits. This surreal image is not only real, but also represents an example of extreme adaptation to the arid environment. The state of Kerala in southern India has one of the highest literacy rates in the world, over 96%. This is due to decades of investment in public education and is an example of how a well-implemented social policy transforms a region. In Utah, there is a popular forest called Pando, considered a single living organism. Although it looks like a group of trees, they all share the same root system and DNA, making it one of the largest and oldest living beings on the planet. The island of Lanzarote is home to Europe's only underwater museum, where submerged sculptures serve as artificial reefs. Diving among them is an experience that blends art, marine conservation, and sensory exploration. The Pura Smart Pitcher cools water by up to 18-degree valve in just 30 minutes without electricity. It also filters out bacteria and heavy metals, providing clean, fresh, and safe water with an eco-friendly design. In the 1950 World Cup, India decided to withdraw from the tournament because they were not allowed to play barefoot as they were accustomed to. This curious episode reflects how sports regulations can clash with deep cultural traditions. The science of cymatics allows us to visualize how sound generates geometric patterns on vibrating surfaces. This technique shows that sound can form complex structures, revealing an artistic and physical dimension of acoustics. Spider webs can be stronger than steel of the same thickness. Their combination of lightness, flexibility, and strength has inspired scientists to replicate them in new materials for medical and industrial uses. Bottled water doesn't expire, but plastic does. Over time, the packaging can release substances into the liquid, so it's important to check the printed expiration date, which actually corresponds to the packaging, not the contents. Walt Disney envisioned Epcot as a futuristic city where everything would be automated, from the weather to transportation. Although the park itself was never built as a city, its concept influenced the creation of modern smart cities. SpongeBob, the animated character, is inspired by a real sea sponge called Aplacina fistularis. This biological nod makes him not only a television icon, but also a bridge between marine science and pop culture. An XXL domino project used more than 100,000 pieces to create a chain reaction lasting several minutes. More than a game, it became an art form that combines patience, engineering, and visual aesthetics. Optimus, Tesla's humanoid robot, now walks, recognizes objects, and collaborates on basic tasks in a factory. Mass production is planned for 2026 and could mark the beginning of a new era of work with autonomous robots. Augmented reality rings allow people to view and manipulate holograms in midair without the need for screens or lenses. They detect finger movements and respond in real time, like a floating virtual interface. In China, more than 20,000 performers performed a miles-long dragon dance in 2019. This event not only broke records, but also demonstrated the power of collective coordination and the power of mass tradition. A programmer named Thomas Burns personalized Alexa with facial expressions and mechanical movements, giving her a physical form. Now, in addition to speaking, she can blink and gesture, making the artificial intelligence seem more human. Hestia is a telescope designed for everyone. Connected to your phone, it tells you which star or planet you're looking at in real time and allows you to take astronomical photos that previously only experts could achieve. At 90 years old, Jim Arrington continues to compete as a bodybuilder. His example demonstrates that with discipline, the body can remain strong and active well beyond the limits of chronological age. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the chukudu is a wooden vehicle that transports up to 1,760 pounds over impossible roads. This local invention is a symbol of resilience and creativity in the face of adversity. And just in case, be careful. The skunk can launch its defensive spray more than half a mile away. This natural mechanism not only repels predators, but also leaves an unforgettable olfactory imprint on them. The artist Sepe paints giant murals on mountains with eco-friendly paint that degrades itself. This ephemeral art pays homage to nature and slowly disappears, leaving no trace, in harmony with the environment. During the Yo-Yo World Championships, competitors from around the world perform synchronized acrobatics with incredible precision. This ancient toy is transformed into a high-level sport where skill and creativity shine on the global stage. And Jyoti Amji, the world's smallest woman at 24.7 inches, challenges stereotypes on screen and proves that size doesn't define impact. Dolphins not only whistle, but they also invent their own sonic name from a young age. And when they call each other, they imitate that unique whistle that identifies them within the family. Speaking of rest, house cats sleep between 13 and 16 hours daily, a behavior inherited from their hunting ancestors. Although they don't need to stalk prey today, their bodies still regulate light and deep sleep to recharge. Continuing with visible signs, raincoats are often yellow or red because those colors glow in rain and fog, making them easier to see from a distance. This simple design is a lifesaver, especially for cyclists, fishermen, or emergency responders. And from pedestrian traffic to romance, many couples place padlocks on bridges as a sign of eternal love, until the excess weight causes structural damage. In Paris, 99,000 pounds were removed from the Pont des Arts, and several cities now ban the practice. Moving on to another topic, Great Rain is a compact and sleek electric cheese grater that works with just a touch. In addition to cheese, it grates chocolate or nuts easily, and it's quick to clean, ideal for modern kitchens. Curiously, only 1 in every 2 million lobsters is born bright blue due to a genetic mutation. These specimens are so rare that fishermen and aquariums carefully preserve them. There are also golden or multicolored lobsters, almost marine legends. In sustainable design, designer Max Gavrilenko launched sunglasses with frames made from recycled coffee, vegetable oil, and biodegradable linen. They are durable, lightweight, and handmade, an example of eco-conscious fashion that fuses style and responsibility. The Mobilier National de France, founded in 1604, preserves royal furniture used by Louis XIV, Napoleon, and current presidents. In addition to being a museum, it continues to produce official pieces using artisanal techniques that unite the past with the present. In Sagada, Philippines, an ancient funerary tradition persists. Hanging coffins embedded in cliffs for 2,600 years, these were meant to ward off animals and rivers, and some remain today in honor of ancient beliefs. Meanwhile, in sports, the nets on basketball hoops aren't just decorative, they confirm that the basket has gone in, generate the characteristic sound, and slow down the ball, enhancing the experience for players and spectators. And if you're wondering about extreme adaptations, camels close their nostrils to protect themselves from sandstorms, while their eyelashes and fur provide a natural barrier. They are truly ships of the desert. The Open Sky M02 is a real-life glider inspired by Studio Ghibli's Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. With a design faithful to the film, it enables magical flight with precision, a tribute to cinema and aviation. In sports innovation, swimmer Mireia Belmonte trained under a bubble connected to a Hyundai Nexo hydrogen car to demonstrate that clean oxygen can be generated in enclosed spaces, with applications for health and sports. A visual legacy arrived from 1927 with a video of Berlin. Vibrant streets filled with bohemian fashions, trams, and street performers, a gem that portrays city life before World War II. Without going outdoors, bees discover their way using ultraviolet light, solar polarization, and magnetic fields, functioning as a natural GPS even on cloudy days. A navigation model that has inspired modern robotics. In the artistic realm, there are sculptures that seem trapped in motion, freezing the moment with such lifelike precision that they deceive perception between the static and the dynamic. On a cosmic scale, in about 2.4 billion miles of drift per year, our Milky Way will collide with Andromeda in roughly 3.8 billion years to form a new galaxy. An astronomical event so slow and massive that none of us will live through it, but it is written in the cosmos. And in body art, an Israeli artist turns her hand into a three-dimensional canvas using meticulous paint, creating landscapes, animals, and faces with a quality that only remains on social media, ephemeral and surprising. Following the line of survival, a person can remain in a coma or vegetative state for decades. There are known cases of more than 20 years, and even one documented case of a woman who was there for 37 years. Now we are moving from the dark cosmos to living water. Schools of fish swim and sink, guided by peripheral vision, instant reflexes, and chemical signals, an aquatic choreography that inspires robotics and drones. Furthermore, we don't breathe through our nose and mouth at the same time because they share the pharynx. The body prioritizes one of the two accesses to air, just as drinking through two straws at once would cause chaos. Speaking of mass media, BBC One began in 1936 in London as the oldest free-to-air channel, while newer channels like British Screen Classics, Busted, ITV Quiz, and Actualidad 360 emerged in March and June 2025. Moving from television to water, the Amazon River runs about 4,345 miles and is the longest, although the Nile also competes for that honor, while the Roe River is barely 85 feet long, a fascinating river contrast. And from water to the human body, hiccups are caused by contractions of the diaphragm, which close the vocal cords. It is harmless, though disconcerting, and can be relieved with water or by holding your breath. And as we age, we lose height, the spinal discs dehydrate and compress, bones thin, and posture changes. After age 60, it's common to shrink 1 to 2 inches, although exercise mitigates the loss. In terms of birth rate, India leads the way with more than 65,000 births per day, followed by Nigeria and China, compared to microstates like Monaco with only 1 or 2 per day, reflecting enormous demographic differences. The wind doesn't disappear when it stops blowing. The movement of air simply stops when pressures balance. It's always latent, waiting to return with any change in the weather. If you're wondering about human origins, according to the Bible, Adam and Eve date back about 6,000 years, according to calculations like those of James Ussher, while science places them among modern humans 300,000 years ago. And what is a snack? It comes from the ancient Spanish word dentar el pie, a small meal between meals to maintain energy without sitting down. Today we call it a snack, the lifeline of any long day. Although often confused, lazy eye, amblyopia, and color blindness are not the same. One affects visual acuity, treatable if detected early, and the other affects color perception. Systems do exist to make oneself more visible. In modern music, the most streamed song on Spotify is Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, with nearly 4.9 billion streams, surpassing hits like Shape of You and Someone You Love. Scientists in the United States have managed to turn spinach leaves into scaffolding for human tissue, using stem cells that organize themselves like skin or blood vessels. This breakthrough promises donor-free organs and points toward much more accessible regenerative medicine. And speaking of natural mimicry, the Arctic hare, not a bunny, changes color with the season, camouflaging itself as a snowball in winter and turning brown or gray in summer, digging tunnels for shelter and feeding on bark and shrubs. And if we come to the world of spiders, the enigmatic silk henge are silk nets that protect eggs, though we don't know exactly which species makes them. These needle-like structures surrounded by an intriguing circle have never even been observed up close. Moving from nature to human ingenuity, the AceBeam W50 flashlight delivers up to 80,000 lumens and is designed for extreme use by rescue and security forces. It's not for everyday use, not even if you see a strange light in the woods, but the future is also coming to the road. The US, Department of Energy's Supertruck 2 combines a diesel-electric engine, aerodynamic design, radar, and interior comfort. It's like a movie truck that's already on the road. From technology to romance, the Italian Institute of Technology developed the Iron Cub 3, a 6-foot 3-inch humanoid robot that flies with propulsion and can open doors or rescue people, representing a leap forward in mobile robotics for complex missions. And speaking of smiles, in 2017, an actor dressed as Jack Sparrow visited a children's hospital in Vancouver to bring joy to children with Behçet's disease, a gesture that combines effort, fame, and affection to change lives. While Dubai is building skyscrapers, Oman is betting on sustainability. Low-rise buildings, women leaders, 80% local consumption, and a society designed for pedestrians and cyclists. An alternative development model that invites comparison. From volcanoes and terrestrial fire, the Reykjanes Peninsula in Iceland has grown since 2021 thanks to its intense volcanic activity, creating new soil and reminding us that the Earth remains a canvas in constant transformation. China also stands out. Shenzhen has transformed from a village into a tech hub with giants like Huawei and Tencent, an efficient metro system, and green skyscrapers, an urban example that balances innovation with civic life. We go back to a video game developer's garage. There, Andy Gavin and his team created Crash Bandicoot in the 1990s without experience, from an apartment without air conditioning, a classic born of ingenuity and perseverance. In the world of cars, the BYD Dolphin challenges Tesla by offering a more affordable electric alternative suitable for cities, with advanced technologies, economical maintenance, and reliable range. Did you know that Goku's Kamehameha attack comes from King Kamehameha I, who unified Hawaii in 1810? Akira Toriyama honored that legendary power in his popular animated series inspired by the true story. From extreme risk to the safest, skydiving offers speed, free fall, and adrenaline, with jumps of up to 2 minutes and speeds of 125 miles per hour, always with instructors and a double parachute for safety. There's also sustainable water transportation. Sea Bubbles, a French electric taxi that moves without producing waves or noise. It floats 20 inches above the water and carries 4 people while protecting the environment, ideal for urban walks. And Nature Provides. Compounds from bee venom are being studied to combat aggressive breast cancer cells. Although the results are promising, caution is advised due to possible allergies. Turning to climate, the ultra-white paint created by Shaolin Ruan and his team reflects almost 98% of the sun and cools buildings without electricity. It's so white that cameras can barely capture it. Would your house look better? On the other hand, in South Korea, the KAIST Institute eliminated the PROX1 protein to regenerate the retina in mice, restoring vision without surgery. Already in the early stages for humans, this discovery promises a new future. In Ethiopia, there is the Danakil Depression, where Africa is slowly breaking apart, leaving fissures, acidic lakes, and landscapes that look like something out of another planet. With temperatures of over 122 degrees F, this extreme place inspires research into the origins of the Earth, and even Mars. And if we go to the sea, in Nouadhibou, Mauritania, there is a ship graveyard with more than 300 rusted vessels. The rust and birds create a post-apocalyptic and melancholic scene where each abandoned hull silently tells stories. And after so much altitude, we return to dry land to a tunnel in Ukraine covered by a blanket of green. The Tunnel of Love. Trees form natural passageways worthy of a romantic movie, interspersed with railroad tracks and enamored tourists. From a vegetal romance, we move on to La Gomera, where people speak in whistles. The Gomera whistle transmits complete words 3 miles away from the ravines. It's easy to imagine a song with wind, a language acting as music. Connecting with colors, Yinmen blue was discovered by chance in Oregon. An intense blue that doesn't fade, is non-toxic, and reflects infrared. a watercolor with potential for roofs or cars, and for artists with a critical eye. From the blues, we move on to Iran, where the Ku, a Namak salt mountain, glows in pink and white. With salt caves and underground rivers, this surreal landscape seems like something from outer space, and the air it exhales is said to have therapeutic properties. And speaking of homemade art, salt and sugar can form fascinating crystals when they slowly evaporate. Transparent sculptures emerge from school test tubes, proving that science can become pure geometric poetry. And if we go underground, in Papua, Indonesia, lies the Grasberg mine, one of the largest in the world. From the sky, it looks like a cratered city, but its wealth generates conflicts and environmental impact, a mirage with a real cost. And from mystery to vertigo, in the Shanghai Tower, an elevator rises at 46 miles per hour and travels 121 floors in less than a minute. It's like taking off in an airplane, but without leaving the ground. Would you get in? Speaking of pure air, some Chinese cities sell canned fresh air from the mountains to alleviate pollution. Thousands buy it like gold. Would you pay for a breath? And from air to solar energy, in Nevada, there's the Ivanpah concentrator with 170,000 mirrors that focus light onto giant towers. Its glare confuses satellites, but its thermal effect also damages birds, an unexpected price. From solar towers, we move on to human libraries, where we don't read books but real stories. Refugees, ex-convicts, or people with rare conditions share their lives. A bridge of empathy much more powerful than any page. In Papua New Guinea, the Parotia Karoli bird of paradise performs an exceptional courtship dance. It puffs out its feathers and spins like a contemporary dancer. Experience natural art without a choreographer. Descending into the extreme underground in Norway is the 15-mile Lardal Tunnel. To stave off boredom, lights, curves, and rest alternate with blue lighting that simulates sunrise. A journey that blends driving and sensory experience. And on university farms in Wisconsin, some cows have a ruminal cannula, a surgical window in their flank for studying digestion. Painlessly, it facilitates animal health research and reduces antibiotic use in livestock. From Swiss precision, we jump to facial monitoring. In China, facial recognition is used to enter work, buy food, or evaluate employees. The system analyzes faces, eyes, cheekbones, and even movements to generate profiles in seconds. Technology that not only identifies, but also measures trust and tracks behaviors, and that's scary. Saudi Arabia has installed solar-powered laser beacons in the Anafu Desert. These lights guide travelers to water sources and can be seen up to 6 miles away. The initiative, led by explorer Mohammed Fohai Al Sohaiman, promises to install more than 100 aid towers in regions such as Ha'il and Al Jauf. Creator Susan Stockwell designed a world map using recycled materials from electronic devices. For her work, she used elements such as motherboards, hard drives, and other components from disused computers. This piece combines art, technology, and environmental awareness in a striking visual representation. In the German town of Seelbach, there are unique homes built among the treetops. These elevated structures, located 15 feet above the ground, offer a unique accommodation experience. Each house has 2 bedrooms, a fully equipped kitchen, a private bathroom, and Wi-Fi access. Mohammed Rashid achieved an impressive feat by cracking 315 walnuts in just 60 seconds using only his elbow. This demonstration of strength and coordination made him the holder of a rare record. His ability to execute quick and precise movements distinguishes him for his exceptional dexterity. The pineapple rind has a remarkable tolerance to high temperatures, being able to withstand temperatures up to 1,832 degrees from. Dinotomic pushes art to the limits, creating stunning works using gunpowder and fire as paintbrushes. With almost magical precision, he burns surfaces to bring to life fantastical portraits and figures that seem to rise from the ashes. His technique, as risky as it is fascinating, transforms the chaos of fire into controlled beauty. Each work is a blend of danger, talent, and pure creativity. The mangosteen, nicknamed the Queen of Fruits, is a tropical treasure with a purple rind hiding a juicy white flesh with a unique flavor. Its blend of sweetness and acidity makes it irresistibly refreshing, like a hug between citrus and exoticism. Beyond its taste, it's a bombshell of vitamin C and antioxidants, ideal for taking care of your body. The Red Bull F1 drone is a technological gem that brings the speed and design of Formula One to the air. With an ultralight yet strong structure and an advanced propulsion system, this drone not only flies fast but handles with astonishing precision. Equipped with high-resolution cameras, it offers a first-person experience, immersing drivers and spectators in the action. The Victoria water lily is an aquatic wonder straight out of a fairy tale, with floating leaves that can reach up to 3 meters in diameter and withstand the weight of a person. Native to the rivers of South America, especially the Amazon, it has a unique structure that distributes weight thanks to its veins. Its large, ephemeral flowers open at night, brilliant white, filling the air with a sweet scent to attract pollinating beetles. The transparent saltfish is an amazing ocean dweller whose almost invisible body allows it to blend in with its surroundings and escape predators. It lives in temperate and tropical waters around the world, moving with a curious jet propulsion system where it absorbs and expels water. Despite its jellyfish-like appearance, it is actually a tunicate, a type of animal closer to vertebrates. The female octopus can lay up to 500,000 eggs and becomes the ocean's most dedicated guardian. She doesn't eat, doesn't move much, and simply protects her future offspring with total devotion. When they hatch, the tiny octopuses ascend like brave explorers of the sea, a truly epic underwater motherhood. The first official Marvel film was Howard the Duck in 1986, although earlier, in 1944, Timely Comics, which would later become Marvel, had released a Captain America film. This little-remembered 1944 film marked Marvel's first steps into cinema. Curiously, in Avengers Endgame, Howard the Duck makes a brief appearance during the epic final battle as a tribute to its cinematic roots. The Parasitus colossus, a primitive whale from the Eocene discovered in Peru, was the largest creature to inhabit the seas. With an estimated weight between 85 and 340 tons, it even surpassed the blue whale. Its dense bones suggest this marine colossus may have been even larger than its modern successor. Hinduism, the world's oldest religion, has over 4,000 years of history and originated in India. Its teachings are based on the Vedas, and it is deeply focused on spirituality. Concepts such as karma, reincarnation, and meditation are not only part of Hinduism, but have impacted many other religions throughout time. The most crucial animal on the planet? The humble bee. With every buzz, it ensures the life of fruits, vegetables, and flowers. Without it, many ecosystems would collapse. It's small, yes, but it holds the world with its wings. The Fengdu Hell Gate is a peculiar tourist attraction in China, a theme park that represents hell in Chinese mythology. It's filled with statues and representations of demons and lost souls, and it's said that souls must pass through here to reach the afterlife. The Danakil Desert in Ethiopia looks like something out of another planet. With boiling lava lakes, intensely colored hot springs, and unique geological formations, it's one of the most extreme and inhospitable places on Earth. Despite its danger, its surreal beauty attracts the most adventurous, a true natural spectacle. Orangutans are the largest primates in the world and spend almost their entire lives among tree branches. The most incredible thing is that they use tools. They can use branches to catch food and even large leaves as improvised umbrellas when it rains. The first film to use color technology was Walt Disney's Flowers and Trees in 1932, marking a milestone in cinematic history. To achieve this, a process called Technicolor was used, which required special lenses and 3 strips of film. Australian tennis player Samuel Groth holds the Guinness World Record for the fastest serve in tennis history, reaching a speed of 163.4 miles per hour in 2012 during a tournament in Busan, South Korea. The Polo Ralph Lauren logo, featuring a polo player riding a horse, was inspired by Ralph Lauren's love of the sport. The polo shirt has become a symbol of luxury and classic style associated with the brand. On February 8, 2020, the world's largest aerial firework was launched in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, a 375-pound projectile that rose to 2,201 feet before exploding in a red glow. This dazzling spectacle, part of the Winter Carnival, was witnessed by thousands of people and officially recorded by Guinness World Records, marking an unprecedented milestone in the history of pyrotechnics. Originally from Guadalajara, Jalisco, tortas ahogadas are a street delicacy that combines a crispy bolillo filled with carnitas with a total immersion in a spicy chile de árbol sauce. This dish, as tasty as it is challenging for spicy food lovers, is accompanied by pickled red onion and radishes, becoming an explosion of flavor that proudly represents the essence of Guadalajara. Surgical AR looks like something out of a futuristic movie, but it's already revolutionizing operating rooms with augmented reality. It projects 3D models of the human body in real time, merging scans such as CT scans with the precision of a digital surgeon. This tool allows the invisible to be seen, guiding the doctor's hands with millimeter accuracy. The bubble snail seems like something out of this world. With its gelatinous body and a shell as fragile as a soap bubble, it doesn't rely much on its own defenses. Instead, it relies on its slippery secretions and agility to survive on the sandy seabed. It glides in search of algae and microlife, leading a brief but curiously efficient existence. And when it's time to reproduce, it releases its eggs into the water, as if sowing tiny marine promises. A 63-year-old Mexican woman experienced an incredible story of deception, believing she was in love with Enrique Iglesias for 2 years through social media. The virtual relationship led her to send money and, surprisingly, leave her husband. The truth came to light when they discovered that the supposed singer was, in fact, a con artist from Nigeria. Enrique Iglesias, upon learning of the fraud, warned his followers about these deceptions. The East reactor reached an astonishing record of 100 million degrees Celsius, 5 times the temperature of the sun's core, by achieving nuclear fusion. This breakthrough allows for the generation of clean energy using deuterium extracted from seawater, an abundant resource. Surprisingly, just 1 liter of seawater produces the energy equivalent of 79 gallons of oil. Val Kilmer, remembered for his iconic roles in Top Gun and Batman Forever, passed away at the age of 65 due to pneumonia. For years, he had been battling throat cancer, which affected his voice and forced him to use a laryngotomy device. In Top Gun, Maverick, his iconic character, Iceman, returned thanks to a digital version of his original voice. Artificial clouds are now a reality, and no, they're not something out of a science fiction movie. This technology, designed to combat climate change, releases particles that reflect sunlight, thus cooling the planet. It's like putting sunglasses on the world, blocking out some of the heat, a climate hack with a serious purpose: protecting our future. Buying an apartment in Hong Kong is practically impossible for most. The price per square foot can exceed $3,720. A 269 square foot apartment can cost $1 million. The wait for public housing can take up to 6 years. Real estate madness. The longest flight in the world is offered by Singapore Airlines, connecting Singapore with New York. With an impressive distance of 9,500 miles, This direct flight becomes a true aerial odyssey. Although it may seem exhausting, passengers enjoy breathtaking views and luxury service throughout the entire journey, crossing almost the entire northern hemisphere. The world's longest-running anime isn't about action or magic, but about an ordinary family, Sazai-san. Since 1969, it has aired over 8,100 episodes and is still airing. In Japan, it's a Sunday tradition, an anime record that seems eternal. The strongest glue on the planet, the pufferfish is like a living balloon with ninja instincts. When it gets scared, it inflates like a football. This way, it manages to confuse its enemies, making itself look enormous and not at all tasty. Gruyere is a charming Swiss town famous for its namesake cheese, Gruyere. This cheese originated here and has been produced for 800 years. In addition to its delicious food, Gruyere boasts well-preserved medieval architecture, including its 13th century castle, which attracts tourists from all over the world. Chefchaouen, Morocco, is famous for its blue and white painted streets, which have earned it the name the Blue City. According to tradition, it was the Jews who lived there during Spanish rule who first began painting them this way. Blue symbolized the sky and reminded them of God's presence. Bibury, England, looks like something out of a fairy tale, with its limestone houses and thatched roofs. This charming village is home to Arlington Row, a row of 14th century houses that is one of the most photographed in the world. Today it belongs to the National Trust, which protects the country's historical treasures. The first car to offer airbags as standard equipment was the 1973 Oldsmobile Toronado. This advancement in automotive safety helps save countless lives by reducing the risk of injury in car accidents. In addition to being an iconic actress of Hollywood's golden age, Hedy Lamarr was also a notable inventor. Along with composer George Antheil, she developed frequency hopping technology that would later be used in wireless communications, including Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The Chapel of Bones in Évora, Portugal, is a macabre and fascinating work built in the 16th century. What makes it truly unique is its decoration, which is almost entirely covered in human bones. It is estimated that the remains of some 5,000 monks were used to adorn its walls and ceilings, creating a striking and somewhat eerie atmosphere. Mount Kailash in Tibet is an enigma that has never been conquered. Despite its imposing height, no one is allowed to climb it, as it is considered sacred by several religions. Instead of climbing it, pilgrims must walk around it as an act of respect and devotion. Hallstatt, in Austria, is a picturesque alpine village that was replicated in China. The replica, built near the city of Huizhou, is almost identical to the original and has become a tourist attraction in China. The molcajete is a traditional Mexican utensil, ideal for grinding and mixing ingredients in the kitchen. Made of volcanic rock, its porous texture allows for crushing chilies, spices, and herbs, enhancing their flavors. Tepache is a traditional Mexican fermented and refreshing drink made primarily from pineapple, although it can also contain ingredients such as cinnamon and piloncillo. Its preparation begins by cooking the pineapple peel with piloncillo. Hobby horsing, which emerged in Finland, transforms traditional horsemanship into a show without real horses, where young riders gallop on stick horses, executing jumps and choreographies with surprising precision. This unusual discipline not only improves physical fitness and coordination, but also celebrates creativity and a passion for horses in a playful and competitive way. The nematomorph worm looks like something out of a science fiction movie. Thin and long like a living thread, it lodges itself in insects like crickets and beetles, which it manipulates into jumping into the water. The reason, once the insect falls into the water, the worm emerges to continue its life cycle in an aquatic environment. Have you heard of the Illuminati? They were a secret society founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, based in Bavaria. Their goal was to fight organized religion and the monarchy. They were banned in 1785, but since then, their legend has grown like a shadow over history. Paint a ceiling and earn $500,000? Michelangelo did it in 1512 with the Sistine Chapel. They paid her 3,000 ducats, which would be about $500,000 today. Not bad for years spent gazing upward with a paintbrush. Heavenly art with earthly pay, the chirimoya, native to the Peruvian Andes and the Ecuadorian mountains, has a history dating back to the Incas, who worshipped it. Even Christopher Columbus valued it during his explorations. Its rough green skin hides a creamy white flesh with a flavor that combines pineapple, strawberry, and banana. Did you know there is an animal that can survive in the lowest possible temperatures and also in extremely hot ones? A microscopic animal called the water bear, which lives in aquatic environments such as ponds, lakes, and rivers, and humid environments such as moss and soil. This microorganism has developed a series of adaptations that allow it to survive in completely adverse conditions. As Queen Consort of France during the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette is known for her famous phrase, "Let them eat cake," in response to news that the poor had no bread to eat. Her luxurious lifestyle and supposed indifference to the plight of the French people made her a symbol of monarchical decline. The elephant mosquito, with its imposing size and bright colors, looks like something out of a tropical parade, but it's a silent hero. Unlike its pesky relatives, it doesn't bite or transmit diseases. It prefers to feast on the larvae of other mosquitoes. Its presence in nature is like having an air patrolman who keeps us balanced without even tickling us. Cambodia is known for its famed Angkor Temple complex, including the iconic Angkor Wat. This area contains the largest concentration of religious temples in the world and is a major tourist and cultural destination. What was the first animal to go into space? Laika, a Soviet dog, was the first living being to orbit the Earth aboard Sputnik 2 on November 3, 1957. Although her mission marked a turning point in the space race, Laika did not survive the journey, as there was no technology to bring her back. In Japan, moving companies are so organized that they pack, transport, and, if desired, unpack and organize your belongings in your new home. This service demonstrates how efficiency and attention to detail can transform a stressful experience into a hassle-free process. Moving companies offer a service filled with kindness, taking care of every meticulous detail. Zermatt, a charming town surrounded by impressive mountains, is nestled in the Swiss canton of Visp. From its viewing platforms, tourists can admire the majestic Matterhorn in all its splendor. Zermatt's unique feature is that it is free of motorized vehicles, making it a peaceful, noise-free retreat, a perfect place to unwind and enjoy nature at its finest. In 2020, Megahouse launched a miniature version of the Rubik's Cube, measuring just 0.39 by 0.39 inches and weighing only 0.07 ounces to celebrate its 40th anniversary. This tiny cube is a masterpiece of precision, notable for its minuscule size and detailed workmanship. Despite its small size, it maintains the essence of the classic Rubik's Cube, making it a unique collector's item. Tell us in the comments which of these interesting facts most amazed you. Don't leave without subscribing to Zarpado, liking, and sharing for more facts.